is Jordan. Welcome to Jordan's Artful Wellness. Thank you so much for joining me. It's an honor to guide you through this flow. So just to give you a heads up of what we will be getting into, a lot of lower body, a lot of really nice stretching, a lot of creative movement. So if you want to continue to watch the video, since we will be flipping backwards on our mat, go ahead and move it sideways so you can see the whole time. And you may also need a strap with you to begin. So with that, let's go ahead and get started in our flow. We'll start seated, cross-legged, half lotus, anything that works for you, anything that's comfortable. Go ahead and close your eyes and move inward. Roll those shoulder blades down and away. Lengthen that spine. Feel your sit bones root down and the top of your head reach up to the sky. Just begin to connect inward with your normal breath. Feel the natural rise and fall of your belly. And as you really begin to connect inward with your breath, set an intention, something you want to focus on in your practice, what brings you to your mat at this moment in time. Let it fill you from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, and let it be something you can come back to for the rest of your practice. We'll take 3 deep inhales and 3 deep exhales, honoring that intention of your choice. From here on our inhale, we'll take our hands high, gather the energy in, and exhale, bring it to your heart center, honoring yourself and the space you're in. From here, we'll take some neck stretches. Go ahead and drop those hands down by your side, and on your exhale, tuck your chin to your chest. Let your head hang heavy. Keep those shoulder blades down and away. Gain some space between the shoulder and the ear. And on your inhale, lift up your head, roll those shoulder blades back and down. Find some length on that exhale. And inhale, take your right ear to your right shoulder. Right hand rests on top of your head. And walk those left fingertips to the outside of your mat. Quickly decided I'll mirror you so it makes a little bit more sense. And just open up through this left side of your neck here. Feel the length from the top of your head to your left fingertips. And on your exhale, drop that right hand down. Tuck your chin to your chest, coming through center. And inhale, we'll lift up our head. Just practice rolling those shoulder blades down. Keep them down on that exhale. And inhale, take your left ear to your left shoulder. Left hand rests on top of your head. And walk those right fingertips to the outside of your mat. Every inhale, really finding that length. And on your exhale, use it to your advantage. Really sink into the posture, sink into the stretch, the length on the lateral side of your right neck. And on your exhale, drop that left hand down, chin to your chest. We'll begin to take this side to side. Every inhale, taking an ear to a shoulder, right ear to your shoulder. Exhale, rolling through center. And inhale, left ear to your left shoulder. Continue rolling through side to side, following your breath. It may be different for you than my cues. So we'll go ahead and take 2 more on each side, coming through center again on that exhale. Last time each side. And exhale, finally coming through center. And inhale, lifting up your head. From here, inhale, take those hands high, reach to the sky. We'll take a gentle twist here. On your exhale, right hand comes down to that left knee. Left hand behind you. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, look over that left shoulder. Really want to maintain the twist. Make sure that this left arm is just a little kickstand for support. You're really pressing in with that right hand as you twist. And on our inhale, we'll unravel, take the hands straight and strong up in front of you, up to the sky. And on your exhale, we'll take this on the other side. Take that left hand to your right knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And on your inhale, unravel, take the hands straight and strong. And on your exhale, begin to lean forward, dropping the head down, reaching the hands forward, just folding over your legs. And on your next inhale, we'll slowly rise up. Go ahead and turn to your mat if it's sideways, and we'll roll into our wide leg child pose. So from here, those big toes to touch, knees wider than your mat. And exhale, sink that chest down. Pressing the forehead heavy onto your mat. You can take your hands wider than your mat. Begin to roll side to side, heavy on the forehead, temple to temple, ear to ear. Activating your third eye center, guiding force and intuition. Place to move more internally. Coming back to center on the inhale, we'll just hold this stillness. Notice this length in the spine as you stretch your liver and kidneys. And feel the compression in your pelvic area, compressing the stomach and your spleen. Beginning to really give some love to this area. And we'll take a side bend here. On your inhale, walk the fingertips forward. On your exhale, begin to walk them over to your right side, placing that left hand on top. Resting your head down, lengthening through this left side body, compressing that right hip. A few places to work with your breath. Of course, on that inhale, find length between the fingertips and the top of the hip. And exhale, sink into that space and compressing that right hip. On your inhale, make your way back through center. And exhale, we'll take this on the other side, walking the fingertips over to the left, placing the right hand on top. Compressing into that left hip, lengthening through the right fingertips to the top of the hip and sinking down. On your inhale, come back to center. One breath here, centering ourselves, feeling our breath rise and fall of the belly. And on your next exhale, we'll rise into our box, shoulders stack over wrists, hips stack over knees. Go ahead and get comfortable here. Make sure the shoulders stack over the wrists, the hips stack over the knees. We'll begin to take some cat-cows, just finding some fluid movement throughout the spine. So on our inhale, our belly sinks down, shoulder blades roll back and away. Open up your heart to the sky. And exhale into your cat. Navel towards the spine, really squeezing it in. Spine up to the ceiling, and gently shift that weight forward. Inhale into your cat, sway that spine, open the heart. Exhale into your cat. One more time each. Inhale into your cow, open up, gentle sway in the lower back. And exhale into your cat. Back to a neutral spine here. From here, on your inhale, we'll come into a spinal balance. It's really great to counter this posture, or counter our natural posture with this strengthening posture, so we can begin to strengthen our core and our back. So from here, on your inhale, lengthen your right arm and your left leg. Really reach. Thumb points up, toes point down. Feeling the length in your limbs, really reach the opposite ends of your mat. Feel your core tighten, your back engage. And exhale, go ahead and drop that right hand down. Keep that leg lifted, really inhale. And exhale, step it to the top of your mat. Bring the left leg forward. So from here, keeping the fingertips on your mat, really exaggerate that lunge. If you need to take that right leg back, you're welcome to. Make sure the knee stacks over the ankle. Shift the weight forward. As it feels good, maybe rise to that knee. Shifting again, using this to your advantage, pressing into the knee, opening up. Add the arms if that feels good, straight and strong, up to the sky. Taking a true sun salutation here, Anjayasana in our low lunge. And exhale, take your right hand down, left arm high, gentle twist, gaze follows. On our exhale, swim that left arm forward to meet your right. Kickstand that back right leg. And go on and shift back to the side, lifting up those left toes. Once you're in this nice long side stance, inhale, take the arms high. On your exhale, reach over towards those left toes. If you need, drop that hand down, maybe even to the ground or a block if that feels good. If you want to imagine this nice little beach ball that you're holding and really reach, lengthening through this right side body. Inhale, come up. On your exhale, take that right hand down, cartwheel your hand, left hand to follow. Again, kickstand that right knee. So now you're in somewhat of a lunge stance here, pressing those left toes back behind you. So really press them back as far as you can. You should feel a nice little stretch in your calf here. And then from here, relift the leg back to where we were before. And on your exhale, step it back to the top of your mat once more. So from here, doing something a little bit different. Keeping that foot planted down, begin to walk your body forward so the knee begins to go over the toes. keeping that heel down. So what you're doing is opening up the Achilles here, giving a nice little love here. So if you're a runner, this is a really great posture to find some stretch here. I borrowed this from some of my yin training with Josh Summers. It's a nice little dragon pose, dropping down, little version of it. And on your inhale, slowly come back. Continue to lift or shift your weight backwards, maybe lowering all the way down to your right heel in the half splits here, keeping those toes, left toes lifted. You can also stay high if that feels better for you. Explore both options. They do change the stretch that you feel. Some is a little bit more concentrated in the calf and back of the knee or the hamstring. You can also reach to the toes, pull them forward and towards you. Most importantly, you tuning into what your body needs. And on your inhale, gently plant your hands down by your side and then just relax here. And inhale, rise up. Plant your hands, frame the foot, step that left leg back long, bend the heel to the sit bone, stack the hips, and take some circles here. No wrong way, just a few each direction, making sure you loosen up in that hip joint. And drop the knee down from here. Come back to that wide leg child pose, big toes to touch, knees wider than your mat. Exhale, sink that chest down, and just breathe. Take some more time here for you, and then we'll begin to even out the other side. But most importantly, notice how this left side feels compared to your right. Notice the opening, the length that you achieved here. And most importantly, we'll begin to tune in how that other side feels. Yoga is all about bringing the body in alignment and harmony. So really taking that time to notice the subtle differences so we can achieve that once we visit the other side. So take some time here and follow your breath. On your next inhale, rise to that box. Shoulders stack over wrists, hips stack over knees. So since I'm facing the different direction and using a different leg, this will be not mirrored. So from here, on your inhale, lengthen your right leg long. And add that left arm. Thumb points up, toes point down. One long line of energy here. Avoid really activating the glute by lifting that back right leg. Keep that ankle, knee, and hip in line as best as possible. On your exhale, drop that left hand down. Inhale, keep that right leg lifted. Really reach, find the length. And on your exhale, bend the knee towards the chest and step it to the top of your mat. Again, really exaggerating that lunge. Find a nice stable base. Hands frame the foot. Really reach that chest forward, opening up the psoas and hip flexor here on the left side. And on your inhale, slowly rise up towards your knee. If that feels good, take advantage of this, pressing into the knee, press it forward, add the arms high, again saluting the sun in this posture. You're on Jayasana, low lunge. On your exhale, take your left hand down, right arm high, gaze follows, looking up at your thumb, which is what we call our drishti, our focal point. And this is where we spin around. So on your inhale, swim that right arm to meet the left between your mat and your foot. Then begin to kickstand that back left leg and lift up your right toes. Should be a nice little stance, framing that long side of your mat. Once you're there with those toes lifted, quad engaged, inhale, take your hands high, really reach towards the sky. And on your exhale, lean over to those right toes. Again, finding length through this whole side body as you reach. And inhale comes back to center. On our exhale, we'll begin to face where we started. Cartwheel those hands down. Kickstand your left foot back into center. Those right toes are pressed back. So really reach that right heel to the back of your mat here. Really take advantage, opening up the calf. You may not feel it, but we're going into something right after this that will hopefully really ignite that openness. And from here, lift up that right heel. Inhale. And on your exhale, step your right foot to the top of your mat. Frame your foot with your hands. Find a nice stable base here, and we'll work on opening up that Achilles tendon. As you're ready, begin to shift your weight forward. Knee over the toes begins to shift forward. Take the hands out in front of you. The more weight you have directly on that knee, the more you're going to feel that stretch and length. Make sure again that that heel is still pressed firmly into your mat. If you're coming over and lifting up the heel, back off a little bit. And you may not have that rotation or that bend in the top of your ankle, and that's fine. That's just something to work on and just something to keep in mind here. But really sinking in, finding where you feel it. And on your inhale, we'll slowly lift. Continue to lift and shift back into your half splits. Staying high, lowering all the way down, reaching towards those toes. Again, you finding the stretch that works for you here. One of the great things about yoga is you're exactly where you're meant to be on the mat. Today, tomorrow, in a year from now, last week, whenever. So whatever your body is showing up on the mat, that's exactly what you're supposed to explore. That's exactly what you're supposed to feel, regardless of how the pose looks compared to mine now, compared to yours yesterday or the day before. Really honoring your body is the most beautiful thing that yoga gives you. Tuning in, connecting with your breath. So exploring that more importantly. No worry about limitations that you may feel, because you are exactly what you are. And that's the beautiful thing. So sink into that, tune into that, come back to an intention, something that will just guide you to honor that in your breath. One more breath here. On your next inhale, begin to walk your hands, framing the foot. Step that right leg back long, bend the heel to sit bones, stack the hips, and really open up. And taking this in the opposite direction, making sure you're nice and even. So moving throughout that hip joint, flushes out any toxins. From here, drop that knee when you're nice and even. We'll come back into our wide leg child pose, big toes to touch, knees wider than your mat. Exhale, sink that chest down just for a breath. And on your inhale, slowly coming up back to the box. So just to even ourselves out compared to the other side, let's go ahead and take that spinal balance that you're probably wondering where that went. So from here, on your inhale, lengthen that right leg long and add the left arm. Holding it a bit longer here, and we'll start on this side and work on some other postures. On your exhale, drop that left hand down. Keep that back right leg lifted. And on your exhale, step it to the outside of your right hand. So gluing that knee and shoulder together. Staying high on your hands. Maybe you find a block to lower halfway down or all the way to your forearms, whatever feels good. Really opening up here. And there's a few places to go and to explore in your lizard lunge. So from here, you can stay here if this feels good and something you need to open and stretch. You can also take your crooked monkey, maybe add a little bit more of a stretch. Pressing in with your right hand, look over that right shoulder, gentle twist. Another variation is if you want to open this quad back here on your right side, bend that right heel to sit bones, reach around and grab a hold. If you can't grab a hold of those toes, this is a great opportunity to wrap a strap around the toes and pull it in as best as possible. If that is too much for your knee to dig down, you can also place a blanket there. That's a great little support. So whatever you choose, we're going to hold this for 3 more breaths. On your inhale, release. Take that right hand back to the right toes. We can come into our lizard, from our lizard lunge, we're going to come into our pigeon. So heel toe those toes over to your left wrist. Drop that knee down as best as possible. So in this posture, before you really sink down and fold over, make sure both of your hip bones are nice and square, regardless of where your shin is. Even if it is parallel to the front of your mat, you want to make sure you feel this stretch as you lower down in that back hip and glute area of your right side. That left leg is straight and strong back behind you. If your hip is really lifted and you are turned, go ahead and grab a block to sit that hip on top, and it will help keep the hips nice and square. Most importantly, you want to keep the hips square and the eye of the hip bones facing forward, because it reduces that torque that you may feel in your sacrum area. So once you're nice and stable in that posture and in that stance, we'll begin to lower down as that feels good. So inhale, lengthen, roll those shoulder blades down and away, open up your heart, and exhale to your edge, slowly lower down. And on your next inhale, slowly begin to rise up. Stay here. Take a breath. Since we just compressed that hip, allow the blood flow to come back to the toes. From here, shift your weight into your right hip as you swing your left leg around. Come into a figure 4 with a nice little stretch in a revolved motion here. So traditional figure 4 posture here is with the bottom of the foot into the thigh. If you want to aid your digestion, and that is one of your focuses, go ahead and take a half lotus on top of that thigh. That helps activate as it compresses that Chinese meridian line. So from here, turn over towards those left toes. Inhale, take your hands high. Exhale, fold. Traditionally rolling over nose to knee. If you want to work on opening up your QL, which is the top of the hip to the bottom floating rib, it's called the hip hiker. So if you've been walking, hiking, running, walking stairs, or even if you're seated, that tends to get compressed and pulls the rib down towards the hip. So if you want to lengthen that, this is another beautiful posture in order to do so. So we'll take a revolved variation of this. So from here, I'm going to take those left hands to the left toes. Inhale, lift your right arm across and over the ear towards your left toes. And take your left hand into your mat. So really use this elbow to your advantage. Press into your mat. Press back behind you to begin to open and rotate your chest while simultaneously bringing that right hand over towards the toes. Even if you don't hold that, let's honor this opening and this length that we're finding in this posture with several breaths here. On your inhale, slowly come up. We'll unravel that right leg, meet the left. Give them a nice little shake, pedal out the feet, roll the ankles, maybe take some windshield wipers. And from here, we'll cross the ankles, roll into our box, and take this series on the other side. So from here, once you get nice and comfortable, shoulders stack over wrists, hips stack over knees, we'll go ahead and lengthen. On your inhale, lengthen that right back leg and add, or left back leg, and add that right arm for a gentle spinal balance. Exhale, drop that right hand down. Inhale, find length. Exhale, step your left foot to the outside of your left hand for your lizard lunge. And remember from here, keeping that knee glued to the outside of your shoulder, lower down to your personal edge where you feel this posture, where you feel the stretch. And remember from here, you can rise up to the hands, take a crooked monkey, resting into that right hand. Press that left knee away as you look over your left shoulder, taking a gentle twist and maybe even grabbing a hold of that bind, using a strap or not. Opening up that quad. And from here, we'll take a few more breaths to honor this posture, honor this opening and the choice that you made, whether it's traditional lizard, revolved, or crooked monkey, and into a bind. Inhale, release your bind. Exhale, take your left hand back to center. Heel toe the left toes all the way over into that pigeon posture. Slowly lowering that knee down to your wrist and heel toe those back right toes as best as possible. Eye of the hip bone square. Stay here, really center yourself and find this posture really rooting down before you lower down. So open up the chest in your proud pigeon, honoring this here. Taking time to get a block if you need, taking time to adjust and situate. And then from here, we'll lower down from our proud pigeon. Inhale, gentle back bend, open up your chest. And exhale, leading with your chest, begin to fold over to your edge. And on your inhale, slowly begin to lift up. Shift your weight into that left hip as you swing that right limb around in front of you. From here, figure four, bottom of the heel into your inner thigh, or go ahead and grab that half lotus. From here, looking at those toes, inhale, take the hands high. Exhale, fold. And we'll take that side opening. So from here, reach those right fingertips to the toes, lift the left arm high and reach it over to the opposite toes. Take that right hand elbow in. Remember to use it to twist your body as you reach the hands over. And inhale, slowly come up, unravel that left leg to meet your right. Give them a nice little shake. We'll take a Paschimottanasana, deep-seated forward fold. On your inhale, peace fingers high. Exhale, fold, peace fingers to those big toes. Inhale, find length. Reach that chest forward. Exhale, fold. Really round out the spine, but still lifting and shifting that heart forward to gain length into your lumbar spine. And inhale, slowly lift up. Give the legs a nice little pedal. We'll lower all the way down, vertebra by vertebra, until our head and shoulders are the last to reach our mats. Take a moment here. Take a couple of breaths to honor your Shavasana. And then from here, we'll take a gentle bend in the knees, walking the heels to the sit bones. Go ahead and grab the front of your shins, rock side to side, gaze in the opposite direction of your knees for a gentle spinal articulation. We'll open and release our hips once more, taking our hands to the tops of the knees, big toes to touch. Open up those knees to all four corners of the room. And then gently switch direction, taking about 3 circles each. We'll bring the knees back to center. Hug that right knee into your chest. We'll take a supine twist here, really compressing that right hip, bringing that right knee to the outside of your rib cage. And on your exhale, pull that right knee across your body. Gaze follows, looking at those right fingertips. Inhale, come back to center, bring that right knee into your chest. Exhale, release as you bring that left knee into your chest, compressing that hip. Kind of move throughout that ankle. Pull that left knee to the outside of your rib cage. And we'll take a supine twist here, bringing that left leg across your body. Open up the left arm. Gaze follows. And from here, on your next inhale, gently unravel. Take the bottoms of the feet together. Open up your legs into a supine butterfly, honoring the space and twist you just created by allowing your body to assimilate all you have done. Allow it to feel that stretch and openness in the spine. And from here, we'll lengthen the legs and come into our Shavasana, back into our Shavasana. Tuck those shoulder blades underneath, really open up the chest. and take as long as you need in this posture. I invite you to really, truly embrace your Shavasana. It's one of the most beautiful postures we have in yoga, to really center and calm ourselves, to assimilate all we have done in our practice. Since we spent a lot of time opening up the hips, make sure you take a full body scan and notice if you're firing any muscles to hold and support yourself. Relax your toes, relax your calves, allow them to sink into your mat. Relax your inner thighs, allow the feet to naturally fan open. Relax your glutes, relax your core, relax your shoulders and chest, and take a facial scan. Oftentimes we furrow our brow, so make sure you relax that. Relax the tongue, allow it to gently fall from the roof of your mouth, creating some space between the teeth. And just truly let go and fully surrender. One of my favorite sayings that I learned in yin training was honor, witness, and reflect. Honor what comes up in your body, what comes up in your mind. Just witness. Witness without judgment. Witness without a thought. Just know and listen. And reflect. Reflect what goes on and reflect how you feel. But most importantly, being calm in this moment. I'll give you a few breaths of silence here. And there's no rush. Again, please take as long as you need. I'll go ahead and close out your practice. With my hands at Heart Center, I'd like to personally thank you for joining me for this flow. It was an honor to guide you through something that began just in a place of calm and peace and ended there as well. Stayed on our knees and really focused on opening up and lengthening our lower body, giving some love to each area from the hip to the toes. I hope you feel lengthened, stretched, and just ready to take on your day or end your day wherever you started this video, but most importantly, with a little bit of more peace and joy in your day. All my lights and all my love, Namaste. Thank you.